Hey guys, this is John with the FJ Cruiser channel. Today we'll be installing the Icon Dynamics Stage1 3-inch lift kit on my FJ Cruiser. It's just a standard Stage 1 kit, with the exception I got the extended front coilovers with 700-pound springs. We'll be installing the JBA upper control arms for the FJ Cruiser and just a set of springs that come with the kit. Well, I had one of the bolts break. I bought this vehicle, I guess it came from the Gulf, and there's a lot of rust over here, and this bolt was seized on there, and eventually it snapped off, so I'm gonna have to replace that. Not today. I think I'll get by with 5 for a month or so and have this thing replaced later. One thing to note, the stock upper control arm is already hitting the spring at full extension. So when we put the new JBAs on there, we want to see how much room we have there. Right now, there's no room. It's literally, and if you can see, there's a wear mark already on the spring where that upper control arm was already hitting the spring. Anyway, let's continue on with the project. Alright, so I removed the bolts from the sway bar on both sides, and I'm just going to scoot it out of the way a little bit. I think that made plenty of room for me to remove the shock out of the way. So let's continue on. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but the bolt is basically hitting this pipe, or some of the pipes that are attached to this air conditioning hose, or the air conditioning lines. So I'm going to take out this bracket. It should be enough just to wiggle the hoses out of the way just a little bit. Just barely hitting it. Alright, sometimes you need a second hand to get this upper control arm out. I'm going to try to work the bolt out. Oh, my lovely assistant helps me to pull out the upper control arm.
Okay?
Yeah. Alright, so we'll be installing the JBA upper control arms. The first attempt was a little tight on getting the washers in there on the insides. So I called Marlon and he said to try to use a rubber mallet to seat these inside bushings really good, because it's going to be a tight fit. And also the order of the washers should be the factory on the outsides, and the 14 gauge that he supplies will go on the inside. So what I'm going to try to do is hammer these in and get it real tight, and I may try to squeeze those in there with both of the washers, but I don't know. We'll have to see what works. Anyways, that's it. Washers. Alright. So without any washers, it looks like there's plenty of room. I don't know why it wouldn't go in there before. Yeah, there's plenty of room until we get one washer in. So, alright, so we got it in there, and it was a little bit of a pain. There's very little room, so the way we did it was, it takes two people. We got one washer inside, and I took this side of the A-arm off the bolt and kind of worked the washer in there and the A-arm back over the washer with a little bit of grease on either side. And we were able to get the two washers in there, and then one person held it kind of in place and got this bolt going down and wiggled it, and that's the way we were able to get it in. It was nearly impossible to start from the bolt side and start fitting washers, feeding it through, because it wouldn't move too much off the axis to get the washer in there. To make room for the torque wrench, you have to remove the brake line bracket and wiggle the brake lines away just enough until you can fit the torque wrench in.
So now what I need to do is, I should have had the bolts.
So with the shock fully articulated, there's still a little bit of room left between the spring and the upper control arm. Unlike what we saw with the factory, of our control arm where it was hitting the spring. I use car jacks and removed both rear wheels. Next, I removed the rear shock and loosened the brackets for the brake sensor wires. Using the car jack, I lowered the axle a little bit to give more room to remove the springs. Alright, there's the old. So here are the before and after numbers. The front end was at 37.5 with a 2-inch leveling kit that was on it. And so now it's at 38 inches, and the rear was at 36.25, and with the new springs, that took it all the way up to 39 inches. This gives me an extra inch in the rear for extra cargo. So this concludes the lift on the FJ. If you found this video useful, please subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you next time. Bye.